Hey everybody, welcome back to Ogre Speed Shop. So after my almost snafu yesterday, I decided today's a good day to fix something on the truck. And I'll show you what that is in a minute. When I was backing the truck in yesterday to put it inside for the possible hail last night, I backed up in here like this and I got lucky enough to where it didn't actually hit the lawnmower. This lawnmower is only 2 years old, so I don't want to damage it. So it's time for us to install what I bought when I was in San Diego. That's going to be this dash cam from Wolfbox. So we'll get into what that is and show you what everything is. It's an install kit for it. So let's go ahead and get into it because this has a backup camera on it. So that's going to prevent me from almost damaging my mower again. So let's get into it. All right, so this is the kit that I have. You see it's got the full-size mirror, backup camera right there. You can plug it into a cigarette lighter, but I'm going to hardwire it. So when I turn the car on, the truck on, it turns it on. And it's got a GPS sensor and all the instructions, and this is the install kit. I'm not sure what this thing is yet, but we'll get to it when we get to it. And so yeah, that's the kit. So see what we can do to get it to fit in the truck. All right, so one of the first things I'm noticing with this camera, you see how the front-facing camera is offset to the driver's side? So to do that, I would have to have this all the way to this side, like that. And what the problem with that is, this side hits the wide buttons down here because this has a temp and computer or whatever, passenger air, all that crap on there. So I think I'm gonna have to change out the mirror to make this work and get rid of it because it's gonna be covered up anyways. Anything that, you know, I'm gonna miss the temperature, but you know, I'd rather have the backup camera and everything to go with it. So I'm gonna figure something out as far as how this goes together and try to make it work. So I pulled the mirror off just to get a better visual on how this thing is. So let's get into it a little bit. So as you can see this big fat area down here on this thing. So you try to put that on there, especially with the mirror or the camera, you know, so it could actually do something, and you can't get this around it. So that's the problem we're running into. It won't fit a factory 2006 Chevy mirror. So I got to figure out something else for that. Okay, so here's the thing. This is the smallest mirror I have. This is my Firebird. And this camera being where it's at, the best I can do is that, and it still shows some of the mirror there. I think what I'm going to have to do is get an old mirror from a 3rd gen or something that's just real small, just something that can mount to the mirror mount on the truck, and make a custom mount for it. Otherwise, I don't see this working very good, which really sucks because these come highly recommended, but apparently they don't fit everything. All right, so since we're kind of running into a problem as far as mounting the mirror, I'm gonna go to the junkyard and figure out, you know, get a smaller mirror that'll mount to this. It's basically the same mount that every other mirror has. So it's just a matter of getting one that'll fit so I can put that on there. But up until we get that, I went ahead and installed the backup camera. So that's where that's at now. And I ran it underneath. And I'm still gonna hook up the reverse light wire because there's a wire right there that needs to be tapped into the reverse lights. But it runs on top of the frame with the rest of the wiring. It goes down underneath here. And if you look right here, this might be a little upside down and backwards right now, but so that goes into the cab. I got it grommeted, and I'll probably put some seam sealer on there too. But she's all tucked up in here. I got to tie her in a little bit with something up here to just a few more zip ties will take care of everything. But she's running to the cab, and I removed everything in here. But there's the wire now. It runs up through here and around and all the way up through here and up into here. So everywhere where it metal goes by it. As you can see right here, I added some wire loom to that where it goes up and through the metal. Same with up here. So that part's done. So now I can move on to wiring the mirror. That's what this kit here is for. I also got a GPS tracker too that needs to be wired in as well. So just get onto that. So I got into the wire harness of wiring it permanently rather than using your plug-in. And basically it's real simple. It's just 3 wires. And they use these little fuse adapters. Let's see if I can get in here and show you. Let's see, there's one right up there with the blue, one down there with the yellow and the blue. And neither one of those are used. One of them's for 4-wheel drive, and that one's for, it says right in the book, not used, but it still had a 20 volt or 20 amp fuse in it. So, and basically what those things look like, and this is a mini fuse one, but they look like this. They just plug in there so you can still run the circuit with your, whatever you plug it into with. I chose to use circuits that weren't being used. And you just plug that into your fuse panel. So they work really nice, but you got that, just got to tie the wires up and, you know, put everything in here, but they plug and play basically. So you plug them in there. I got a ground run to the bottom to metal. The wires run up to where the mirror goes. So you plug everything in and it works. So I'll show you that later once I get everything else figured out. But we have power now for this. And it works. I've tested it out, just sitting in there holding it. But, yep, so now I just got to go to the junkyard and get me a mirror to attach it to. All right, so I ended up going to O'Reilly's because I found a Dorman part. And let me find the part number. So I found this part, 76501, which is a little 8-inch mirror. And that allows for the camera to mount to it now. So this one fits, and the way you hold this on here is these rubber straps, which, you know, they do all right, but I'd want something a little more sturdy than that. So that'll hold it, but it still has that flexibility there, and I don't like that. So I think what I'm going to do is, since this is a pretty cheap part, I'm going to go ahead and drill holes through here and put some tack screws or some self-tappers straight into this mirror. That way it's held on there permanently and not hit by a rubber strap that can break and deteriorate over time. So I guess what I'm going to do, I'm going to drill holes for that to fix it. And like I said before, the reason why I can't use the big mirror or the original mirror is because this thing does not fit on there. Like at all. So I can't mount that to it. So this was 28 bucks plus, you know, I had a $5 off coupon and plus my military discount made it $23 at the door. And like I said, it bolts right on or screws right on. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to go ahead and attach this permanently to this with I'm just going to drill a hole and put a self-tapper on it. That way it's on there for good. All right, so now you can see I put self-tappers down inside there, so it's permanently mounted there. It ain't gonna go nowhere. So it's a lot better than these little spongy things. So I could put it on there and make it look like it belongs there, but what's the point at this point? So, but that's solidly mounted there now, so it can be moved up and down and just like a regular mirror, even though you shouldn't have to with the cameras on it. But now I got the mount there and I can mount this in the truck. All right, let's get in here, and real simple. It just mounts like any other mirror. Just slides down over that. I put an adapter on the original mount. The only thing I don't like about it is because they're plastic now, because the mount on the mirror or the window and the mount that goes to here is actually metal, but as you tighten this down, you'll see it flex a little bit because it's got a plastic adapter on it. So hopefully it'll hold good enough. So now I got the mirror in there, but you can see how it's kind of flexible, like bouncy. That's because it's got that plastic adapter. So I don't know, I'll have to figure out something else for it maybe eventually, but at least it's mounted and it's a usable item now. So I can plug everything in and make it work. Okay, so it's all plugged in. I don't have the GPS hooked up yet, but got that plugged in. And now turn the key on. Turn the music off before we get copyrighted. And you see it's booting up. To protect the screen off so it's easy to see. And there's the backup camera. I don't know how well it's showing up on the camera or the video. There's the backup camera. Can turn that off. Switch it off here. There's the front camera. That needs some adjustment. There we go. Now it's straight out. We're gonna have both front and rear view. Kind of cool. So I know you can go like turn it off somehow. Maybe this way. Nope, that's brightness. Settings, maybe screensaver. So what it'll do is it'll go back to where, when we just turn it off, it becomes a regular mirror. So you can see the back just using the mirror. It's not the best mirror, but it's definitely something that's usable. So you can adjust it to see what you need to see behind you. It's kind of like a tinted mirror almost. But you can also use the rear camera as your rear view. So right, there's your rear view. And I can scoot it all the way down to where I can see the top of the ball hitch to mount the trailer up. I think I showed you the wiring here. This is just a little box. It's a control module. You wire it in with power and ground, and it turns on with the key now, or an accessory. So it doesn't turn on while you're cranking, which is good. But I just got to reroute all these wires because for some reason I must have crossed those wires at some point. But yeah, just got to clean up in the truck now. Get all the wiring tied up and tucked away and make it look better. All right, so after our little repair yesterday, get back on the truck here. I got the GPS in here now. You can see it kind of down there. And it just sticks to the dash right there. That's the place where they tell you to install it. So I got that in there. So now I just got to clean up the wiring. And when I get that done, I'll come on back and show you the finished product. All right, so I've definitely opened up a can of worms on this one. I just wanted to get the wires up in there so they were, you know, safe and whatnot. And so yeah, now the entire headliner's out, which it needed to come out anyways because as you can see, it's definitely seen better days. And this has all been flopping down on me and getting in my eyes and everything. So it's time to reach covered, I think. So that'll be the next thing I do. But for now, I just gotta get those wires finished up and hung and zip tied in there. And I get the seat out too now, so I can clean underneath that. Found about, I don't know, maybe $1.30 and change. Pretty cool. So I still gotta figure out how I'm gonna mount that because that little plastic piece broke if you watched my shorts earlier. So yep, just got to tie up all the wiring and get it set up, and we should be good after that. But let's get that part done, and then we can finish up this project here. Okay, so I got all the wires. Since I'm not putting the headliner in right away, I made new hangers for most of the wires. I actually drilled a hole and put a hanger there, put one here, one back here, one back there, one over there, so, and one up here. So that way the wires aren't hanging down on my face and they're tucked away, and they're, when I go to put the headliner back in, it'll still clear where it needs to clear. So now they're just a matter of, I'm not gonna be able to put my interior light in yet, but because that attaches to the headliner. But at least I got the wiring all routed. So the only thing I'll have to do is tuck this up in here and get it secured. And then I got one more wire in the back here. That's got to go to the reverse lights. And then this install for the cameras will be completely done. So we go ahead and do that, and I'll come back. Okay, so it's a whole other day, and we're still working on the truck, getting the cameras finished up. One thing I need to do is go to O'Reilly's to pick up this. Then we can come back and get that glued on there so we have a metal to metal connection. So that can be attached permanently. Well, not permanently, but you know what I mean. So it can be attached better than to a piece of plastic where it's going to break again. So I'm going to take a trip to town and pick that up real quick. And when I get back, we'll install it. So see you then. All right, so I got back from the store and I got the mounts. So I just got to figure out which one fits this. Fits that one, and glue it up on there. And I bought the rear view mirror adhesive too, so hopefully that'll work. If not, I got this one here, which is came with the other stuff, but it's a silicone style. I don't know. I'm gonna use what would normally be used for metal on glass, so I'm gonna do metal to metal for this. If it doesn't work, then I'll get some kind of other epoxy and make it work. But here we go. All right, so these are our three options. See, those first two have it. I can angle to them. This last one's straight. If you look at this here, that is straight. So the one that fits is a straight one. So now we got metal to metal. So now he's got to glue this to the other one in the truck. Should be good to go. All right, so the first step of this is cleaning it basically. And if you're putting it on fresh glass and you want to scrape the glass, make sure it's really clean. But the first step is this little towelette thing, and it says to peel it somehow like this. It says peel here. Supposed to leave it in the packet, and then clean. This is also an activator too, I guess. So you want to clean it and let it dry for a minute. The next step will be this the actual adhesive, and you put that directly on your button. So you want to make sure you put it on the right direction. So basically, you want to make sure that this thing is got your lips facing outward so it can clip onto it. And also, this little indentation gives you away where the set screw will go. So this flat side here is the side we're going to be messing with. We're going to put just a couple drops on the very center of this. I'm doing round side up. Put a couple drops. So as you can see, I put a couple drops on there. Now you just want to stick it on there and hold it. You definitely want to let this set up for a little bit after you get it on there. So it sticks pretty quick. I'm going to put a piece of tape over just to hold it in place. Okay, let's just put that over that, just to help hold it in place till it completely sets up. Okay, so we got that on there now. We gotta let it set for at least 30 minutes. So we're gonna go take a break and go eat some lunch and come back, and should be able to mount the mirror up there permanently for final time. All right, so it's been well over 30 minutes. It's been a couple hours actually. So hopefully this thing will stay on. Seems pretty solid. So let's get the mirror up on there, and there we go. Okay, so that's up on there. Now let's tighten her down and see if she stays. So got a little bit of glue on there, up underneath there, but that looks like it's staying, and that is much more solid than it was originally. All right, so we got the mirror installed. Let's plug everything in, make sure everything works, and I'll go through all the features. Okay, so it's gonna be kind of hard with the glare on this thing, but I can go ahead and I can turn the record off, and I want to shut the screen off. So now you can see it actually works as a regular mirror too. Like I can use it as a regular rear view mirror, and it does have a setting, a screensaver setting. So I go into settings over here, got screensaver. I got it set for 1 minute, so it'll turn off the camera in 1 minute. So the other one is you got resolution 4K plus 1080p, 2.5K, and 1080p to 1080p. So a bunch of different settings there for resolution. You get your movie clip time. So you can set it to 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Reversing line. So obviously that's gives you the reverse. And remember, you can just swipe up and swipe down to adjust it. Kind of went over that a little bit on, I can't remember if it was shorter on this actual video earlier. But anyway, so you can swipe it to dial that in. If I can bring it down a little bit, there we go. So, okay, so you go back on that. Mirror flip. So you flip it, and then it'll flip it the opposite direction. And it's on right now, so turn it off. Now go back. And that's actually where you want it to be, because that's what it's, oh no, it's not. So it's on the right side. So you see how the house is on the right? Well, it's supposed to be on the left. So stop recording. This thing likes to record everything. Go to settings, go to mirror flip, turn it on, because we want to flip it so it's facing like that, because that's the way it looks behind us. So if I go like that, you see how the house is back there on the right hand side? Well, now it's back here. So that's right now. So next thing you have is stop recording. Upside down, so you can go upside down rear image too. So now it's upside down. I don't know why you want to do that, but you can. That's in case you want to flip the camera. If your mounting location is better flipped, like you can mount it anywhere back there, so you can flip it. That way it's it can be, you know, mounted in any direction. And see, format, you don't need to worry about that. Language, screensaver, parking mode. So parking mode is basically if you you park a car and it'll record if something bumps into it. So it has a shock feature. So if it gets hit, then it'll start recording. And you set that for up to 12 hours or 24 hours. G sensor sensitivity. See high, low, medium. That's what I'm talking about with that G sensor. And I just about dropped my phone. Volume, so you can turn your volume up, medium, low, high. And I'm not sure what flicker does. What does flicker do? Okay, so you got 50 hertz or 60 hertz flicker. So I'll have to research that a little bit more to see what that means. But those are all your different features, and you can do, so you can go in here. Okay, I don't want that upside down anymore. Quit recording. This thing starts recording like as soon as you go into camera mode. So mirror flip off. Oops, no. I want that on, and I want upside down image off. Did it do it? There we go. So now we get the camera back to normal, and it's recording still. So if you want, you can go to different views. So that's the front camera, and bring it down a little bit so you can see in front of the truck. Or you can go both screens. So now you got front and reverse and the rear camera view. And this here's your GPS. So it does have GPS. That's what that little sensor is over there in the corner. So that tells you your direction. You go back to just the rear camera. But that's pretty much it. And you got your recording. So your record button's right here. And you can take a picture. So it's still picture, your volume, your mic. So you can turn it off and mute it. Resolution. So you can apparently do that. That's something new. So yeah, you can darken it, lighten it, and play your videos. See, there's all your different videos you can play. So there I am talking about stupid thing recording all the time. So yeah, so that's all the features. Got your time up there, which is off by a little bit, so I got to set that at one point. But yeah, I mean the mount's working, it's holding up. So that's pretty much it for that. So I don't know if you push. Oh, I see. You can swipe at the top to change screens too. That's cool. I didn't know that one. But that's pretty cool. So that's it for that. And I think I'm going to hook the power up to something different because I want to be able to put it into auxiliary mode and have it come on. But right now it's just on ignition hot. But you just got to find the right fuse you want to use. So, but that'll do it. That's the my Wolfpack. Is it Wolfpack? That sounds right. Wolfbox. So that's my Wolfbox dash cam and backup camera. That's gonna do it for the Wolfpack camera setup for my truck install. So if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like down there. Leave me a comment. Let me know what I can do better. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. The next thing we got going, we got the fuel pressure regulator for the Camaro in. So we can put that in and start getting that put back together so we can start troubleshooting that further. Gonna do a video on the headliner because as you saw, we took the headliner out of the truck. So everything's out of there. I'm leaving everything out except for I'm gonna put the passenger seat back in because I get an airbag cut with that out of there. But so yeah, so that's what we got coming up, and that's pretty much it. So like I said, appreciate y'all watching, especially you watch the end. And until next time, we'll see y'all later.